Start Over Strong, Life After a DUI, a podcast for people, not offenders. Brought to you by Smart Start, the nation's most trusted, judgment-free ignition interlock provider. If you're someone who works out, cares about your health, tracks your steps, and watches your protein, and still enjoys a drink, this episode is for you. I'm Morgan Ryan, and this is Stigma Free IID, a podcast about real accountability, real discipline, and real tools for reform, including ignition interlock devices that require intention every single day. And before we go any further, I want to say this clearly. I believe deeply in fitness, not as a punishment, not as control, but as a daily discipline that reforms lives. Fitness changed my life because it's taught me how to show up, especially on the days that I don't feel like it. And that's exactly why I see so many parallels between movement and ignition interlock devices. Both require consistency, both require accountability, and both interrupt autopilot. And both ask you to make a conscious choice every single day before you move forward. Today's episode is multifaceted. It's for people navigating calibration appointments and early mornings with an IID, who need mental health reminders, grounding, and motivation to keep showing up with drive and determination in a difficult season. It's for women like me, who don't drink all that often, but when we do, we honestly don't know what's better or worse for our bodies. Is it a Michelob Ultra? Is it a ranch water? Is it a High Noon? What actually matters and what's just marketing? And it's for people in fitness culture who have never truly treated their bodies with actual dignity, who withhold food, restrict calories, or overtrain, and sometimes do the exact same thing with alcohol, holding it all together until they don't. This is an accountability and education episode, and it's about modeling moderation, not perfection. Let me ground us in this first. This is not an anti-fitness episode. This is not an anti-alcohol episode. And this is absolutely not a shame-based conversation. This podcast exists because real people live in the gray. Most people navigating a DUI are not reckless. They are disciplined, high-functioning, busy, often exhausted. And many of them look like the healthiest person in the room. They're also the ones shocked when they find themselves installing an ignition interlock device in their car. Here's something that surprises people. Some of the most physically fit people I meet, early morning gym goers, Pilates princesses, CrossFit dads, marathon runners, are also some of the most misinformed when it comes to alcohol and how it actually affects their bodies. Not because they don't care, but because fitness culture can quietly teach us this lie. If I'm disciplined everywhere else, I've earned this. And sometimes that discipline turns into withholding, strict routines, controlling intake, white-knuckled structure until that structure breaks, and indulgence feels justified. Food, alcohol, rest, all of it. That's not a moral failure. That's a regulation issue. And fitness, when practiced with respect, not punishment, is meant to fix that, not feed it. Here's the biological reality. Even if you feel fine, alcohol is a toxin. When it enters your body, your liver prioritizes it immediately. Fat burning pauses, muscle recovery slows, hormones are disrupted, sleep quality drops, inflammation rises, decision-making declines. And for women, this matters even more. Lower body water percentage, different enzyme levels, higher blood alcohol concentration from literally the same amount of alcohol, which means that it can hit harder and faster, even when you don't feel drunk. This is where alcohol literacy matters. Look, a low-calorie drink isn't a low-impact drink. A clean label doesn't mean clean consequences. A light drink can still impair judgment, especially if you don't drink often. And that's why so many people who rarely drink still end up with a DUI. Not because they're irresponsible, but because they underestimate chemistry. This is also where ignition interlock devices matter.
and why I don't see them as a punishment. Look, an IID doesn't ask how disciplined you are. It doesn't care how fit you look. It doesn't negotiate with confidence. It requires a pause, a check-in, a conscious decision every single time you start your car, just like daily movement. You don't work out once and change your life. You don't blow into an IID once and rebuild trust. Reform happens in repetition. That's why daily disciplines matter so much, especially in hard seasons. If you're navigating calibration stress, schedule disruptions, or any type of emotional fatigue, showing up still counts, even imperfectly. Movement can be momentum. Routine can be regulation. Consistency can restore self-trust. But fitness should never be used to offset behavior. It should inform it. Here's the hard truth. Some people in fitness don't respect their bodies. They control them. And control without care always rebounds. That's how withholding something like alcohol can turn into binging. That's how earning it turns into overconsumption and leads to a DUI. That's how people who do everything right still end up shocked by their own consequences of a decision they made. Moderation isn't restriction, it's respect. It looks like eating before drinking, hydrating intentionally, pacing instead of keeping up, knowing when one more is going to change your night, choosing recovery just as seriously as you do training. Now, let's talk about stigma. A DUI doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't erase your discipline. It doesn't negate your effort or your fitness goals. It means that there was a moment where biology, stress, misinformation, and decision-making collided. And shame is not going to fix that, but structure will. That's why I believe in Smart Start's Ignition Interlock program, because it's built for real people. People with careers and families and workouts, routines and goals. People who made a mistake, not a personality trait. The goal isn't punishment. It's safety. It's dignity. It's forward motion. This podcast exists because we can hold two truths at once. You can care about your body and still need support. You can value fitness and need to rethink your relationship with alcohol. You can be accountable without being defined by your worst moment. Strength isn't just what you lift. It's the discipline that you practice every day, especially when no one's watching. And growth, that's always stigma-free.